Alright, good afternoon, everyone. This is your main man, Anthony Berg, this time, as Sin is a moniker that I am not known by constantly anymore, although it is a common nickname, but whatever, making this different. I am here with my brother, David Berg. David, would you like to say a couple words?
A couple of words.
Yeah, he's a jokester, I tell you. But, yeah, we are both here today on a new podcast. I know I told you guys in the last episode. I told you guys, hey, we're gonna have this podcast on Spotify. Big surprise. Turns out it doesn't work. Anchor is a piece of crap, and the mobile app version is just it doesn't work. I read the reviews, and it wasn't just us. A lot of people, in fact, everyone for the record with friends option, it's broken. It just doesn't work anymore. That is just ridiculous. And I was reading about that, and I was like, for real? Is Anchor really that broken? And it's like, yeah, it's very broken.
It's a damn shame.
Of course, yeah, because it would have been awesome, but we weren't able to use it. But I came out to my roots because YouTube was where I created my first ever podcast, and it worked out perfectly actually. I used makeshift materials such as well OBS and I don't know. I actually forgot to install Audacity. Well, who cares, man? I mean, I'm not gonna upload any audio version of this anyway. It's just gonna be YouTube exclusive. Unlike Spotify with Joe Rogan, huh? How about that?
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's almost like the exact opposite because Joe Rogan on Spotify, that's one of the only places where you can find an episode. All the other episodes are like a bit hard to find on YouTube, but they're still there. It's just Spotify has some Spotify exclusive Joe Rogan episodes, which it's kind of a bummer. I I mean we really don't like that because I only just now had gotten into Joe Rogan a bit, and I was like, man, where am I supposed to start? And my brother was just like, screw it, start with the clips, and I'm like, all right, because I don't, believe me, neither you the viewer nor I don't think my brother has time for a 4 hour episode ever.
it
That's
usually depends on the time.
yeah, because it's like that's like a sixth of my day taken up by an entire video. That is insane. But yeah, welcome everyone to the new podcast. Now I know what you're thinking. How is this different from Hits and Bits? Kind of, but not quite. How this goes is all about stuff. Is about well stuff, as David once put it. How do you put it again, Dave? What
Pure and simple. It's all about stuff.
and what might be some examples?
Um, well, I mean, there's a bunch of stuff. Mainly, I wouldn't necessarily say that we talk about just any kind of stuff, but just a random assortment of stuff, junk, stuff, canned food, space, Michael Jackson monster trucks, pretty much the whole enchilada
Yeah,
of a huge assortment of different dinners and shit all in one. And that's really what we talk about. So each episode's probably going to be something different, probably something, a theme, a random, whatever you want. I mean, whatever people want to put in, either. And people have suggestions,
yeah,
they can leave a comment and all that. But for now, this is really just it is a first episode, but it's kind of like I wouldn't necessarily say like a test trial, just to see where we're going from here to just put our foot on solid ground and everything and see where we reach from there. But other than that, I'd say we're doing pretty good right now. Let's just see where this goes.
yeah. Yeah. That's kind of what we were talking about in the trailer originally, because yeah, those are almost the exact words, but our topics would mostly fall under pop culture and popular media if there's a difference between the two. But yeah, it's mostly stuff we'll talk about. But like you said, we can diverge into any topic at any time, and I don't think it's kind of like hits and bits, kind of, but we're changing up a bit. This time we have a new theme, not theme, but like we have a new idea. Um, from what we can tell, I'm trying to make it to where some episodes we will have reviews. That's right, we'll have entire episodes dedicated to reviewing any type of media, albums, bands, movies, video games, TV shows. We actually, I actually have like a plan of like some stuff we'll cover, but I don't have a plan for any of it. But that's just how it goes, really. And I feel like those are really going
Yeah.
to be the more unscripted of episodes because we'll just go by the heart about what we think about it. Yeah. God, let me check. 5 minutes. Okay. So anyway, uh, that's pretty much the entire podcast itself. That's how most episodes will go. The reviews, I can't say when they'll happen, but they'll happen semi-frequently. It's kind of like the Hits Bits equivalent of a special, except not really. Hits Bits specials are a lot different from our specials, except I don't think All About Stuff would even have specials. It just depends, really, about what would make a special about it. It'd be like an anniversary or something. Kind of like the Mime and Dash special, if any of you hardcore Hits and Bits fans remember that. Yeah, David sure doesn't. He didn't watch too many of my episodes, but I literally talked about him in multiple episodes actually.
I, I glanced at a couple of them, and it was it was pretty good.
Yeah, but as the viewers may know, and as everyone knows, the Hits and Bits days are behind us. So yeah, and I thought, huh, because admittedly, Slade was an okay co-host, but I don't know. Sometimes he just fell flat, he had the humor, definitely. But, I mean, we got David for that. He might as well be Kevin Hart's brother or something.
Yeah. Okay.
uh, it's funny because I remember when I was picking a what do you call it, a category for our podcast on when we're doing Anchor. My original idea was not original idea, but I just decided screw it, I'm gonna make it comedy. But I feel like we're gonna have like a bit of a more comedic tone to it more than anything, because for all intents and purposes, ladies and gents, All About Stuff is a more reformed, kind of professional, and well, a more mature version of Hits and Bits, if you can believe it. God, brings me back to that one time where we were doing the Mime and Dash special. I was looking at the iceberg image for it, and one of the guys, the guy who made the iceberg was named Lacum, and Slay was like, "Yeah, you can say that again, say that again, say that again, say it again," like, because the guy's name was Lacum, and we just couldn't stop laughing at it.
Cute.
Yeah, and I'm sure he was like, I'm sure he was clipping that the whole time. He always joked that he was what do you call it, like recording without me knowing, like recording conversations. But that's just him. He has a ridiculous sense of humor, or he had. Not that he's dead or anything. It's just we are no more with each other. I don't know. Uh, but yeah, that's pretty much how the whole podcast is gonna go. Should we? I don't know actually. Uh, Delving deep into the episode's topics. First of all, happy belated Thanksgiving to everyone. Me and David and awesome Thanksgiving. Why don't you tell us about how your experience went, Dave?
Um, I ate a lot of food
Oh, of course.
and um, not really that much stuff.
Yeah, because
Just little stuff here and there.
yeah, he was watching
Uh,
he was watching the Cowboys, and I didn't know the score until this morning, and I was like, Jesus fucking Christ! I looked at the score, and I couldn't believe it. The Giants actually lost to the Cowboys. How the hell do you lose to the Cowboys? That's
it's a
unheard
damn
of.
shame.
Like, I understand the Giants are crap, but they're not Cowboys crap. Like, because the only
Just anyone's disclosure, I am not a Cowboys fan. Just throwing that out there.
yeah, no,
So I don't want to get the wrong idea.
yeah, to be fair, I don't even remember. I don't think he's even that big of a fan of any Texas team in football. Maybe the Texans, but that's all about it. Maybe not even that, because he's expressed multiple times that he's a big Eagles fan. That's really about it.
Hold on one sec.
Oh God, that's his wife. Yeah, little known fact, he has a wife. Unbelievable, I know.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
What was what was that?
Nothing. nothing much. Me having to go to the store in a little bit and everything, and go grab some stuff.
Yeah. A good thing it's only be about. We're only gonna have about like 15 more minutes of this, I think. Um, but yeah, Thanksgiving for us was all right. Yeah, it was actually one of the few times I actually got to see my sister-in-law, Natasha. If you're watching this, hello. I highly doubt you are, but hey, at least one day I know the family's gonna know about this. Yeah, yeah. It's funny because you may hear me get quiet a little bit. That's because my freaking family ordered Mr. Beast Burger from Castle Lay. I don't know how that's possible, but it
Wait,
is. Yeah, we ordered
that's
freaking
ridiculous.
what?
That is so ridiculous.
What?
Y'all actually got that?
Yeah, it. I don't. I got me some fries right here.
Is it actually good?
Yeah, it's all right. God, I feel like I'm doing a mukbang channel now. Nah, kids, we ain't gonna be no Nikocado avocado. God, can you? I wonder what if Nikocado avocado, the old version of him, the skinny one, saw what he became nowadays. I wonder what he would say. I wonder.
That that's a lot to take in, to be honest.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, he has sort of evolved into like, a mukbang giant on YouTube, and I don't know. People have just expressed their disgust at his behavior and everything. Not entirely because he's homosexual. That's clearly wrong. I think he is. I can't tell anymore. I swear I remember hearing that he had a boyfriend or something, but I honestly don't know anymore. A nigga caught avocado. His entire history is a hard topic to delve into, and maybe when it's his birthday, we'll make it special about that. But most likely not. No, I already talked to David because we were talking about in the trailer. We were talking about Michael Jackson as one of the tops. And I thought, huh, wouldn't it be kind of fucking stupid if we did a Michael Jackson special? Like that, it would make no sense.
Well, maybe not to the fans who, like Michael Jackson.
I mean, yeah, because I've seen the people in my comments, that Candace Yes person and those other people. I don't know. I remember Slade once commented on it saying, "I hate this podcast," and he was doing the nerd emoji shit, and the person actually thought they actually thought they didn't know he was the co-host of the entire thing, so they were getting mad at him, even though they didn't know he was an official member of the podcast. My best guess is that they never even watched an episode; they just commented on it. But I don't know. No offense to you guys, to you two people in the comments, but it's like whatever. They haven't commented on my final episode of Hits and Bits yet. But maybe that's for the better. I have no idea what they would even say, because I made sure to put it everywhere, saying this was the series finale. The description, the thumbnail, maybe not the title, but definitely the description and thumbnail. Try to
I'll
make
definitely give it time.
yeah. But yeah, yeah. Black Friday is was yesterday, I think. That was all right. That was yeah. I remember my mom was or our mom rather was they were going to uh along with my sister or our sister God, our sister and our mother was going
Mm.
to the store. They were going there. They're going to Walmart this morning, and they saw everything, and they were like, yeah, like I don't know, I like glad you weren't there, Anthony. I was like, why? And they were like, well, they barely had anything. Half the good stuff was taken off the shelves because of the sales. I'm like, are you serious? They're like, yeah, we're serious. Everything was taken off. And I thought, damn, that's tough. I was really excited for a Black Friday sale, but in the end, it's all about the Cyber Monday sales. To be fair, in this day and age, I'm more excited about that, definitely.
For sure.
Yeah, and oh god, it reminds me of this one meme I saw. It was like it was something about like the people, like the people, the shopping people whenever Black Friday starts at midnight, and that's like a screenshot from Left 4 Dead whenever they start the elevator, No Mercy, and it's like here comes the horde or whatever.
Mm.
The horde has been alerted.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, big left-handed fan. I feel like for the longest time, me and David had contradicting views about Valve franchises. At one point, for some reason, I thought Half-Life 2 blowed major loads, but I played it a bit more, and I realized it's actually pretty awesome. It's inspired me a lot over the course of a few months, and I mean, hey, if anything, you guys can thank Slade of all people for getting me back into Half-Life 2, because without him, I probably wouldn't have gave Half-Life 2 a second chance. He introduced me to a lot of stuff. He got me to play Fortnite, which was awful. I regret that because I don't want to be a part of that community anymore. That's why I never really openly talked about it until now. Those days sucked.
Mm. Yeah, just a bunch of swines.
Of course, yeah, and I remember Slade used to you know simp or whatever over this Meow Skull skin, which was literally just like a cat, like a goth cat or something. And
Mm.
it slowly became confirmed that he now, what like Meow Skulls was a transgender person, so they're actually male or something. So now he got all freaked out because he realized they were a dude. So he was like, "Dude, am I gay?" I'm like, "No, you're not gay." It's like, but I simped over male. It's like you didn't know that. You didn't know that. God, those conversations between me and Slade were golden at the time, and they probably still are to this day. They probably still hold up, but it's too bad the Hits Bits podcast couldn't live on. It just wasn't the same without Slade, so I decided, you know what, screw it. That day I was like, tonight we're doing this episode. It's gonna be the final one, and I'll never talk to you again. Or at least that was the terms, because he still liked talking to me. It's just like he wanted to express that he wasn't my friend. We had
Right.
we had we had differentiating views on certain things, and he was like, "No, I don't believe in that. If you're down with that, I'm not down with you." And that's what grinds
Mm.
my gears.
Well, I'm gonna get down to the last 5 minutes of this before I have to get off. But um, this episode, to be honest, I can see. I mean, we're gonna have longer episodes in the future. This is just, I just had stuff going on tonight and stuff, and I see this episode being more of like a test, like a trial run. This is just like a untitled episode. Um, but whenever we get towards the future, we're gonna have more episodes that are gonna be a lot longer. More stuff to talk about. We might even pick up themes each episode and talk about, well, all about stuff. And if there's anything else that Sin would like to mention, just so to know that we're getting stuff all set up for the next episode within, this is the 5 minutes. Sin, do you have anything you want to add with these last 5 minutes?
Yeah, I actually had two more things to outline. Just little brief conversations. First of all, did you hear about that one news report that someone went through the airport and they did the X-ray, and whenever they looked in the luggage, they found a cat, a live feline, in their suitcase.
I did hear about that. That was
Yeah,
interesting.
it was crazy. I think even Woody and Wilcox commented on that. Can't remember, but they may have. Uh,
Hmm.
just thought that was interesting to glance over. But the main conversation we should be having for the last 5 minutes is, it's on the outline, how Twitter is screwed. It clearly is. You had Stephen King arguing with Elon Musk over Twitter because he did an $8 blue check mark where like, oh, pay $8 to be verified. Like, no, just no. And unlike other people, I agree with King, the master of horror himself. He's speaking facts right now. All right, he knows what he's talking about, but people don't take him seriously. But this is ridiculous. Okay, like they're making you pay to be verified. That, I mean, hell, they even had a whole fiasco where someone paid to be verified as Nintendo, and then they posted a picture on Twitter of Mario giving the middle finger, and it was all over Twitter, and it was bullshit, man. It was awful. All right,
It's a
and
damn shame.
yeah, of course, and Twitter was uh, good. Oh, God, I hate getting those words out of my mouth. God, Twitter's awful. It's terrible. All right, it's full of a bunch of politically incorrect incels who do nothing but argue about Joe Biden. Joe Biden, Joe Biden. Like, dude, you talked about Joe Biden 5 minutes ago. Talk about something else. Half of them probably have a foot fetish and have like a Deki Mikura or something. I don't know.
Hmm.
I don't know. I used to be a big part of Twitter, but I don't. I just hate it now. I ended my Twitter account not too long ago, like maybe like a few months ago, but I haven't touched it since then. I kind of just like cleaned it up and eventually just exited entirely. I didn't delete it. God, I don't like to delete certain stuff in case I want to archive it. But yeah, I just keeping that stuff for right now. But yeah, for real. I don't know. Yeah, I have to constantly keep the mic down from my face because I'll like breathe on it on accident. So I have to like like bend it down and then I have to like bend it back up and then bend it down to breathe again because God, it sounds really stupid and just sounds what's the word? Impractical and unprofessional to just straight up breathe into the mic during an episode. It's just yeah.
I definitely agree. Yeah, but to me, it basically seems like it's a bunch of dead air whenever that stuff like that happens. You run out of stuff to talk about, and then basically just hear each other breathe. It's
Yeah.
pretty interesting.
Yeah, because yeah, because Twitter, I just really don't like where it's going, and Elon is tearing it to the ground. Hell, as soon as he bought it, he laid off like 79% of the staff. So now the website probably won't be able to live to reach another year. You know,
Mm.
I don't know. I guess you could say that like Twitter's in like a vegetative state right now or something. I can imagine a meme like that. It's just like in a wheelchair and it has like gray hair and
Mm.
and the fucking logo's in like black and white. And it's I
Well, with the last minute coming on, Sin, do you have anything else you want to add before we conclude this episode and move on to us making the new episode coming up soon? Is there anything that you want to conclude in this?
well, I have one last thing I want to add. I've been thinking about it for some time, and it is official. I'm thinking about making a website for my brand of podcast. That's right, my brand. This includes hits and bits in this podcast and optionally Bling and Balm. I'm thinking about acquiring the rights to it, or acquiring the rights in quotation marks, but I'm just thinking about it. Okay. I'm thinking about doing that and having it kind of like the 12 Ounce Mouse Central website, the old version before it became Corn Dog Central. I showed to David, and that's exactly how I want the website to look. I know our other website probably I know website already tried to do that at one point. I checked it out, but I'm going for a style like that, and to this day, I think I'm trying to go with the whole thing where I'd like draw avatars of all the characters, or rather the guests and the co-hosts and the hosts, and
Hmm.
have them in as like their animated avatars and all that instead of their true faces. Just to hide identity a little bit. But yeah, the website is coming soon. I'm trying to learn HTML, but when that happens, I'll link it. Sorry for the long wait for the new podcast and the what do you call it, deceptive information, sort of, because I mean I didn't know Spotify wasn't gonna work. I didn't know Anchor wasn't gonna work, but like it's whatever, man. YouTube's our home. Yeah, not. Of course, David wouldn't agree with that. He is indeed the one that had that old YouTube channel that I personally love, but he does not like. Shout out to anyone who knows DJ Berg 13135, I think, but I don't know. It was like gem. It was kind of cringe, but it was funny. All right, and it's nice to see how he's evolved from having WWE SmackDown versus Raw 2007 as one of his favorite games to having BioShock in there. It's a nice transition.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, but yeah, the I'm not sure when the new episode's gonna come out, but me and Dave will figure that out one day. And just so you know, we're doing the same thing Hitsbits did, where I'm just gonna straight up say right now, schedules are for losers. All right, we don't need schedules. We are big men. I'm talking big. All right, and we know when we want to do it, not when you expect it. All right. So I'll see you whenever I see you in the great words of Barney Calhoun from Half-Life 2, chapter 9, I think, chapter 10, whatever. But yeah, see you guys then. I hope you guys enjoyed the new podcast that is being in development. See you guys later.